Georgetown, Texas, known for its picture-perfect square and historic charm, but with history comes hauntings. So cue the ghosts and the fog because it's time for fact, fiction, rumors, and maybe nonsense of ghosts in Georgetown. Now, if you've ever seen the Old Williamson County Jail that was built in 1889, you know firsthand it's creepy looking. And actually it's for sale for I think around $5 million. Nevertheless, it's scary. Now, locals like to say that you can hear footsteps in the hallways and whispers behind the bars. And what it's known for, aside from its creepy look, is housing one of the most notorious criminals in Texas history, Henry Lee Lucas. And then, of course, there's this rumor that I can't find anything to say that it's accurate, but there is the story of the young man who killed his family, his mom, his sister, and his dad, and then was put in the Williamson County Jail. And the psychiatrist on staff, well, he created a relationship with him and he invited him in to live with his family. That doesn't seem like a wise call. But nevertheless, the story goes that that young man grew up and is now the head of a psychology department at a college. Now that sounds like a delicious Netflix series, am I right? But here's the truth, there are no records that this story actually exists and is true, unless you have some, in which case send them my way. So this appears to be local legend and not fact. But it does give this place a delicious, eerie edge. Now let's talk about the Williamson Museum. Now people like to say that the museum is haunted as well, and people have claimed that they have heard footsteps walking the halls, unexplained noises, flickering lights, and of course things moving when no one is around. According to the museum itself, there are about 5 ghosts that like to call it home, each tied to different moments in Williamson County's colorful past. And of course, there's the old firehouse, now the Georgetown Art Center, which has an old cowboy ghost haunting the 2nd floor. Hauntings or not, Georgetown has a way of sticking with you. It definitely has charm, both in its architecture, its history, and of course its people. It's the kind of town where every building tells a story, or maybe a whisper. Now, if you're someone who loves history and maybe wants some ghost tours yourself, check it out because Georgetown does have First Friday ghost tours held by the Williamson Museum or the Spellcaster Ghost Tours. I have personally attended one of these tours and it was fascinating and I loved the history, but of course, go fact check. If you've been thinking about making Georgetown your home, well, just reach out and we are happy to help you find a home with a little history and maybe minus the ghosts, unless you're into that.